Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
In this video, we will follow US 60 from Datil eastbound through the Plains of San Agustin in New Mexico.
Socorro County line. I think I've answered my question. I believe if you look off to the right, you see a bunch of white things that are in a row. And there are actually some on the left too. We're not close enough yet for me to tell, but I'm pretty sure those are all dishes. So I think we're actually going to cross through the wide. The very large array network here in a minute. Definitely dishes. There's one straight ahead, slightly to the left, that's pointed directly up. They stretch out to the left, which would be roughly northwest of the point where we're going to cross the line. As far as I can see, although they're not, I'm not sure how far apart they're spaced, but they stretch out pretty far. And of course, to the right, it looks like they stretch out but also curve and run more parallel to the highway. Stop up here at the rest stop. Check out the historical marker. Also maybe break out my lunch.
Turn right onto the unpaved road.
The Plains of San Agustin were occupied thousands of years ago by a large intermountain lake, surrounded by now dormant volcanoes and uplifted mountains. At an elevation of 7,030 feet, it is an ideal area for the Very Large Array radio telescope.
coming up here is, I believe it's New Mexico 52. And if we turn down 52 and drive for a ways, not very far.
In 2.5 miles, turn right on PLA Road.
So we'll drive back here 2.5 miles. In this area, the earlier routing of US 60 ran south, sort of parallel to the south of the current alignment, and the road that comes off of this one and goes to the very large array is that alignment. It's the earlier US 60 alignment, the surviving segment of it. And if we turn, actually in either direction, now one direction is not open, that would be left, or well, it actually does look like there's a road that goes out that way. I think it's an unimproved road, yeah, so you can see that. There's sort of a gravel road that runs to the west. That's old 60 west, and then we're going to turn and go this way on 166, which is the VLA road. And we'll drive back here a piece, but this is old, the older alignment of US 60 going west, back towards Datil. I will turn around here.
The road now ends at the next parking lot not very far ahead. Here is a view of old 60 and 70 looking eastbound at New Mexico 52.
I wish I had budgeted time to actually visit the VLA. You know, you can visit, they have a visitor center and you can go in and visit, but I did want to drive back here just to show that, you know, there's out of all the abandoned sections of former US 60, you know, in Arizona and New Mexico, there is one that you can drive for a little bit anyway. And if you've got time, you can drive it to someplace really neat. If you're into, you know, astronomy and radio astronomy in particular, I'm sure that's a you know, big place of interest.
Continue on US 60.
That may be the mowing zone. There may be mowing.
In the next video, we will continue to follow US 60 eastbound through the Plains of San Agustin to Magdalena, New Mexico.
Please check the video description below for links to several online resources that made this trip possible. Thanks for watching. You all come back now.